Tonight, the Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all. I'm Shashina Wool. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the government, along with a major cruise liner, making good on the promise to help keep Grand Bahama's cruise ship industry afloat as this island witnessed the return today of the grand celebration. Joan Davis-Roll has our top story.
It was months in the making, but the grand celebration made a grand arrival to Grand Bahama with thousands of passengers on board Wednesday morning. Ministry of Tourism officials and industry partners literally rolled out the red carpet as the much-anticipated celebration resumed service to Grand Bahama following a 3-month absence. Among those making the special voyage was a Chief Executive Officer for the Tourism Development Corporation of the Bahamas, David Johnson.
It was a very smooth, quiet voyage over. We have to join our partners at Celebration for the almost unbelievable effort since Halloween night, end of October last year, to have resumed service in just over 3 months to Grand Bahama. The crew and the hotel staff and the guests are very pleased with the upgraded product, and as you can see, the ship is in harbor. And we expect that they will resume yet another 6 years of continuous service to Grand Bahama and help us build our tourism.
Delayed but not denied, General Manager of the Ministry of Tourism, Betty Bethel, says the return of the celebration is indicative of bigger and better things for Grand Bahama.
It is absolutely bigger and better. They have moved in capacity by 450 passengers. So they have gone from 1,450 to 1,900 passengers. And the economic impact of that is at least $200,000 in room revenue per sailing. So this is very, very exciting for us. And as you can see, some of our hoteliers and some of our tour attraction operators are here because they understand the significance of this new vessel.
Now, when we drove in, we saw not one, not two, but 3 ships in port. I mean, that's a sight for sore eye.
It is a grand sight to behold, and it really, really makes us feel that we are indeed on our way to better days.
Visitors thrilled about the new vessel and eager to discover why it is indeed better in the Bahamas, specifically Grand Bahama.
Perfect. It's everything we expected. Yeah.
It was real nice. Kind of shaky, but it was real nice.
Okay.
Yes.
And how do you feel about being here?
Oh, I'm excited. Never been to Bahamas, so I'm very excited about being here.
And what do you hope to do while you're here in Grand Bahama?
Pina coladas, the pool, and watch the bathing beauties.
Now with the official return of the grand celebration, many hope that this will signal the beginning of bigger and better things for Grand Bahama's cruise ship industry. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Joan Davis-Roll.
Thank you, Joan. Well, a new slate of executives officially commissioned to lead the business community for the next year. Sabrina Brown tells us more about the installation ceremony held on Saturday night.
The newly elected officers of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce were installed by the Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. Michael Darville, during a banquet at the Grand Lucayan Resort.
Over the years, the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce has played an intricate role in the growth and development of Grand Bahama. And I am certain that 2015, this organization will continue to act as catalysts on behalf of the business community and to work closely with the government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority to contribute and to ensure that the economic turnaround that we have begun to witness in tourism, real estate industry, and small business development continue to aid in the transformation of Grand Bahama in the months and years ahead.
Minister of State for Investments Kaylis Roll bringing remarks on behalf of the Prime Minister. He noted that the Chamber of Commerce plays a vital role in the development of a country.
For there to be a strong economy and by extension a strong country, there has to be a very strong relationship between the government and the private sector. The Chamber has always been the premier voice and strongest advocate for the business community in the Bahamas. The role this organization plays for the development of the country is unmistakable, and there is no equivalent from the private sector. A Chamber of Commerce is a fundamental part of any design of a country's economic existence.
Keynote speaker David Allen of the U.S. Embassy agrees that chambers of commerce can be powerful organizations for the good of communities.
Most importantly, I think the chamber works with the government, and here in Freeport with the Port Authority, but does not work for either the government or the Port Authority, which then gives the chamber the ability to have credibility and independence as it makes suggestions and proposals. When you think about it from the government's perspective and from the Port Authority's perspective, that should actually be a good thing, because it gives the chamber additional credibility as a partner.
The new president of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce is Kevin Seymour. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
A group of pastors strengthening ties with police on Grand Bahama. The religious leaders say it is another effort to help combat crime and address the many social ills impacting the community. Italia Hall has the story.
The High Command of the Royal Bahamas Police Force on Grand Bahama to meet with members of the Pastors Forum. The meeting is held on a monthly basis that brings police and pastors together to discuss community issues, mesh ideas, and to solicit assistance in the fight against crime.
The church represents the vast majority of the population of Grand Bahamas. Just about everyone goes to church. And so if we can get the pastors, as we have been doing, get the pastors to really reach out to the members in espousing our initiatives going forward.
The Senior Assistant Commissioner of Police, Emric Seymour, with the help of a step-by-step PowerPoint presentation, explained the recent decrease in crime throughout the country.
It's encouraging to hear that over the last few years, crime, especially in Grand Bahama, has been trending down. And according to the plans that the Assistant Commissioner would be sharing for 2015, we anticipate that continuing.
Leader of the Pastors Forum, Pastor Wilbur Ouden, notes that they are involved because crime is not a police issue but a community concern as well.
All of the agencies, all of the people in these various communities must get on board and give themselves their time, their resources to making our communities far more attractive for all of us to reside.
The local police chief says the relationship with the Pastors Forum is already producing positive results.
Pastors are there, when there's a crisis in the division, of course, to assist with the office in terms of counseling and, of course, mediate on behalf of the organization as well. And so, yeah, we've seen some excellent results. And given what we've seen thus far, we know that it can and it will get better.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Italia. Police on Grand Bahama taking another illegal firearm off the streets. Reports say shortly before 5 p.m. on Tuesday, officers acting on a tip went to Tynes Bay Terrace and conducted a search of the area where they discovered a handgun with 7 bullets in a derelict vehicle. Investigations are continuing. And a man still grieving the loss of his wife is accusing police of being less than forthright in their investigation. The man's wife died in a traffic accident 2 years ago, and tonight he is still questioning the circumstances that led to her death. It's been almost 2 years since the wife of Leroy Bowens was killed in a horrific accident on Pinehurst Way. His 3 kids, a 2-month-old, 3-year-old, and an 11-year-old, were in the car during the time. 2 of them, along with his wife, were ejected from the vehicle. Police reports indicated that it was Bo's wife that ran the stoplight. However, he says he has gathered much evidence since the initial accident and spoke to many witnesses who do not agree with the report, and is adamant that there have been too many inconsistencies.
First plea, what I made almost 2 years ago for them to contact the police, but I have a lot of speculation with the police, so right now I prefer that they contact me and we could get with my lawyer based on that. But I know for a fact my wife didn't run no light. The evidence didn't prove that she run no light. I got up a lot of evidence. It's not consistent with the report that I'm getting from the police. The first report that they handed out, there was a lot of inconsistency with it. They never had it completed right, and it took them. Why would it take them 5 months, almost 5 months, to do a police report? If you had your facts together and this was how it happened, why should it take you 5 months?
Bowe says after gathering much information, he has repeatedly asked for a coroner's inquest into his wife's death.
Yes, they probably it's supposed to be done, wow, months ago, maybe almost 2 years now, and it haven't came up yet. I went down to the courthouse, requesting, for a date. They keep telling me they'll call me. Nobody's called me yet, almost 2 years.
Bowe is now raising their 3 kids on his own, and he says it has not been easy.
I got to play the mom and the dad role, and basically she was always here for her kids, and basically the kids, some of the kids is acting out based because what they went through. So I don't know, that's their way as far as grieving, and I tried seeking them counseling, so I don't know, but the bottom of the line is they missed their mom, and her life was taken short senselessly. Speed was a factor in her demise, and what's so hurting about it, the way the police handled it.
According to Bowe, he is now putting up a reward.
I don't believe that theory anyway, what they're saying that she run the light, and I don't see a mother, and I know her, she doesn't speed. I don't see a mother with young kids in the car running the light. If you run the light, you're going to run the light with speed. And if you run the light, why she don't have any front damage? If she going to run the light, why she never, there's not a scratch on the next vehicle from her car? It's a $10,000 reward out there. I'm putting up a $10,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest and the conviction.
Now, the officer in charge of Grand Bahama, Senior ACP Emerick Seymour, is responding to the claims made by Leroy Bowes. He says that there is no cover-up by police officials when it comes to this accident. He says the case is out of their hands.
It's unfortunate that that's what he's saying. But listen, he came to me as well, and we're looking seriously at the matter. The investigation is completed, and I offered him this advice as well. The matter is now in the hands of Her Majesty's coroner. Whatever information he has that he feels is relevant to that investigation, he can take it to Her Majesty's coroner. Trust me, the police cannot and will not hide anything, because everything that was involved in that accident will be exposed in court. So it's near impossible for that to happen. And so, as I advise him, I advise anybody else, if you feel aggrieved by a situation, you come to us. If you're dissatisfied, there's always a recourse. But that matter is now in the hands of Her Majesty's coroner. And whatever information he has, he can take it to Majesty's coroner so that the matter can be properly dealt with and heard. And I'm sure at the end of the day, he will be satisfied with the outcome.
Stay with us. More news right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Students from various schools enrolled in hospitality studies getting some hands-on experience. During a recent tourism event, students were given the opportunity to work that event. Hospitality and tourism studies teacher at 8 Mile Rock High School, Cheryl Pinder, says the students were happy to put their newly acquired skills to the test.
A lot of students think that when they come into this area, you only can become a housekeeper or a waitress. So once they get in there, we educate them. We take them to visit the hotels, and once they get on the hotel property, they become aware of so many different areas. As a matter of fact, we just took our grade 10 students there yesterday, and they visited the Grand Lucayan, and they were really surprised at how many different areas in the hotel where they can develop careers and become proficient in those areas.
The students say they were moved by the opportunity to serve those who paved the way for them.
Working here today was a pleasure. I got to meet a number of people that worked in the tourism industry, and I got to see their background, and I got to see some history about them. So definitely was a pleasure working with them, and I enjoyed every bit of it. And I encourage a lot of kids to join this course of hospitality, because I don't want them to think that it's just a course of just girls going in. It's actually a pretty productive course I think many young males should be a part of.
We was here to serve the people that has done a lot for our country in the tourism industry, and as teens and as the young adults getting ready to go into the tourism industry and the tourism workplace, we just came to show our appreciation to them.
Today is basically just me giving back to the community, me helping to serve the elderly persons.
It was a mindful experience, especially for the field I want to work in. It was very important for me to be here today.
Well, the results are in from the Grand Bahama Junior Junkanoo Parade. Kinder Care took the preschool division, followed by Letty's Paradise, Growing Years, and National Academy rounded out the top three. In the Primary A division, the top award went to Maurice Moore. Lewis Yard Primary won and got Category B, followed by West End Primary and Holmes Rock. Sister Mary Patricia Russell won the Junior Division, and Total Education Center took first place in the Senior Division. More than 26 schools took part in the parade that was held this past Saturday on Pioneers Way. And Sunland Baptist Academy has something special to celebrate. A 7th grader from that institution is now the top speller on the island. The young girl is now preparing for an even bigger competition. Megan Shepard reports.
Top spellers on Grand Bahama from various schools competing in a battle of words. The competition divided into 2 districts, and the first place win from East Grand Bahama going to 12-year-old Celine Johnson of Sunland Baptist Academy. Celine says on competition day she was nervous at first, but slowly the butterflies faded away.
As they started with the easy words and just kept going on, I started to feel a little more relaxed. And when I realized that I was in the top 3, I felt proud of myself, and I thought to myself that I have to get these words right, and I prayed to God that I would win so that He would help me through the words, that even if I didn't know, I would get it. And when I got the championship word, when I heard it, I was like, is this the championship word? Because it was sledgehammer and it was so easy, and I was like, okay, I can't mess this up, so I have to go really slow.
Johnson says her 2 coaches worked with her lunchtime and after school to ensure that she was fully prepared. She says her parents are extremely proud of her, and they have given her some good advice.
They were very proud. They were like, wow. Like, if my auntie especially, she stand up and she start dancing, and I just start laughing on stage. But my parents are very proud of me, and they just said that they just told me to continue. They just told me to continue doing what I'm doing, not to follow the crowd, not to be with bad company.
She has competed in spelling bees while in primary school, and now she's taking it more seriously.
I'm definitely studying more, and I try to stay, I try to not stress myself out doing it, because if I get just frustrated with one word, I would just probably stop and go take a walk or eat an orange or something. And, well, for Nassau, I'm kind of nervous, but not as nervous as I was. So I think I would do well in Nassau.
Johnson will travel to New Providence to compete for the national title in April. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Congratulations, such a smart little girl. Stay with us, sports is up next.
This portion of the news is brought to you by All Bees Computer Sales and Service. When you get it at All Bees, you're getting a good deal.
Use the sun to power your home and reduce your electricity bill by 80% or more. The Northern Bahamas Utilities Company Limited is your leader in solar installation, with experienced certified technicians to handle all your PV systems and solar water heater needs. Make an appointment today, and we'll be more than happy to have a member of our sales team meet with you. Call toll-free throughout the Bahamas at 242-225-0766 or email us at info@nbutilities.com. The Northern Bahamas Utilities Company Limited. Smart, innovative energy management.
This portion of the news is brought to you by H&L School Supplies and Bookstore, giving the people we care about something to smile about on Valentine's Day.
Vision Outreach International has a compassionate mission aimed at restoring sight to the blind poor in remote regions of the world.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord.
Don't miss Eye on Health with your host, Dr. Duranda Ash, as she shares how this organization is bringing vision and sight to the blind around the world. So join us for this live show Friday, February 6th at 8 p.m. with Dr. Ash and her guest.
My heart, I want to see.
Sports is dedicated tonight to Sylvia Major in the pediatric ward at the Rand Memorial Hospital. That's LaWanda Burrows' aunt. We ask that you keep praying for LaWanda. Topping sports, the Bahamas Darts Federation National Championships called the Gold Cup will be played in Abaco this weekend. Grand Bahama is heading to Abaco, and as Natalia Hall tells us, New Providence, Eleuthera, and Abaco will have their hands full.
The Grand Bahama Darts Association is gearing up to head to Abaco this weekend for the national championships that will feature the best dart players in the country. President of the association, Anushka Maycock, says players have been training hard over the past few months and they're ready to play.
We've been training from November. That's where we had our local Gold Cup trials, and this is where the Gold Cup team has been established. We do local trials where we pick out the top people in the league, which is done through a normal training, and then we go straight into what we call local Gold Cup, and all that does is present the best players from Grand Bahama to play in such events for the Gold Cup 2015.
Coach Wendy Carroll says the practices have been extensive and she knows that all the hard work will pay off.
I feel very confident that we will go over and we'll do well. All the players, they're very excited. They've been training very hard, and I'm looking for nothing other than to come back with the Gold Cup this year.
We've been practicing pretty regularly, and everybody's been coming out. We've been doing a good job. I think we're going to make some surprise to people.
And they have a little word for their competitors.
Abaco, Nassau, and Eleuthera, look out, we're coming.
Italia Hall, ZNS Total Sports.
The Grand Bahama Volleyball Association played last night at the St. George's Gym. The Nesbitt Rentals Angels defeated the Pleasant All-Stars. The score 25-21, 25-11, and 25-18 in Game 1 of the ladies' finals. As for the men, the Grand Bahama Shipyard Sharks defeated the GT Defenders 23-25, 25-18, 28-26, and 25-19, and a one-game lead in the series. Meantime, high school basketball play in the Derek Nesbitt and Obie Wilshcombe lead. Tabernacle Junior Girls defeated Sister Mary Patricia Russell 14-11. St. George's Senior Girls down St. Paul's 22-6. BMES over Lucayan International 13-11. Mary Star of the Sea 15, 8 Mile Walk 10. Tabernacle over St. George's 20-16. Now in under boys play, the Crusaders of downed Mary Star and St. Paul's 38-12. Tabernacle over 8 Mile Rock 27-17. Sunland Can BMES 18-16. St. George's 27 and 8 Mile Rock 17. Baseball in the country is at an all-time high. Tonight, the Bahamas Baseball Federation president, during a trip to Grand Bahama, spoke to the issue of basketball facilities.
President of Bahamas Baseball Federation Craig Kemp is on Grand Bahama for the Legacy opening. The baseball executive congratulated Legacy once again for providing quality baseball programs for kids and their development. Bahamas Baseball Federation brought the Nationals to Grand Bahama last year and will have to do the same this year. The National Stadium facilities he spoke to in this manner.
I can only go on what was promised to us. The Prime Minister has promised that he will put in place the National Stadium in Nassau. We're looking forward to that because it's really needed. We have so many of our talented young men who come back from college at the prime of their baseball career and not inspired anymore because there's no facility to play. We have some of the greatest talent we have had in a long time right now, where we could compete globally, but we just haven't been able to play senior baseball. So I'd really like to see that happen this year. And so we're hoping that the Prime Minister will live up to his word and make sure that we have that facility. As far as smaller facilities, I think Senator Burris has been mandated to see that some of those things happen, and I think he's working on it, but I'm sure that to some degree his hands is tied too. So, we just hope that the government will see the necessity and facilitate the demand that we have for baseball fields in this country.
Baseball is on the move in the Bahamas, and the Bahamas Baseball Federation and Bahamas Baseball Association have the game moving in the right direction.
And that's a check on sports.